So, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining today's session. So, as Kavita, mentioned, this is going to be a uh, targeted course. Certification targeted course. So, there are different certification levels that are available, but we will see what fits you, and you can go for it. So I'm planning this in a way that it will be useful for people who want to effectively go for the certification, take it in the next 3 months or so. So this has to be there are a lot of things to cover. It is like whatever I'm going to cover is going to cover all the services and everything that you need to know to pass the examination, but at the same time it will need your extra effort depending on what certification you are going to choose and what is your current level of expertise or understanding or knowledge in AWS. I'll guide you to choose your certification path based on where you are currently. And this will be like every week we will be meeting 2 hours or so, two sessions. Probably some sessions may go for 90 minutes, some 60 minutes, and it will be continuous process. And every session we will plan to have some quiz related to the topic that we covered, so that you can check your understanding. Also offline I can support any questions that you have, anything that if you are digging deep into a particular service and you have some questions, come back. Okay. So this is how I'm planning. So I want to mentor you till the end, so that you are successful in getting certification. We will also have some practice test sessions. We will discuss all the questions and answers, and then we can be prepared for taking the examinations. I'll try to make use of most of the time that I'll be in office every month. We'll meet in person and discuss as well. So having said that, so this is not going to be easy. Your commitment is really needed if you are, um, um, if you really want to take the certification and pass. So the next 3 months are going to be crucial, and extra effort is definitely needed. What I'm going to say is going to, give you an idea about what these services are, but to pass the examination you have to put you have to go back, understand that, expand your knowledge from what we are discussing here, ask questions, try it out, and wherever possible, right, challenge yourself with some tasks on whatever we are learning. Apply the things that you are learning to your current applications and see how that will fit. So these are some of the things that will help you make it easier for you. Otherwise it's going to be very very raw information, which we will forget over a period of time. So that is what I had when I had this when I was preparing for the examination, and I did not have any hands-on experience on AWS. I was feeling that thing. I mean, you learn it, you will understand it, you will you can feel that you get the concept, but over a period of time, after you learn so many things, you will tend to forget many things. Okay. So practice is very key to this. Okay. So I said that we will first see the certification path and decide which one will suit you. I mean, you can decide which suits you based on what we're going to talk now. So here is the link for AWS certification page, and you can see that choose your AWS certification path. In this they have given which suits you better. There are multiple different certifications available. uh, it depends on where we currently stand and where we want to go, right? So if you are very new, I think you should start with the foundational course. Okay, so let's see here. There are different paths available for different roles you want to take, right? So for example, most of us are developers, so probably we will go with the development path, or we want to go to a architecture path, right? Or you want to go in a DevOps path. There are series of things that you can do. We'll see the most common thing, which is development. So if you are a software developer and you are going to be doing most of the development work, and you will be doing that in AWS, this is the path you need to take. So the first thing is cloud practitioner foundational. This is this the first one is always foundational. Okay, then you have associate level, and there will be a professional level. So the foundational level is going to be kind of, you don't have to have a background of AWS to start with. That is why it is called foundational. You even if you are starting fresh, you should be able to clear this with enough learning. Developer associate or anything on the associate level, that needs at least 1 to 2 years of experience working in AWS services, because foundational course is going to be kind of it's going to check your understanding about the services, how you can use AWS in your application theoretically, just understanding different services, connecting, applying your knowledge, software knowledge to that, and seeing how this service is going to fit into my application architecture. uh, what are the services I will need to do this, that kind of, you know how and what are the questions that will be asked in the cloud practitioner. So if you are clear about all the services, what they do, what are the advantages, disadvantages, what are the pros and cons, what is the pricing, so this level of high level information, if you know about the services, you should be able to clear the practitioner thing. uh, Developer associate or any type of associate level is going to test you. That's going to be really hard. It's going to test your experience there. If you have worked on it, how you would have reacted to that question, right? So it will connect to different services and ask you based on that. It will give you situations, specific situations where you will have to apply your uh, basically your experience will come in there. If you have really worked on it, you will be able to relate that question and answer it. Otherwise, theoretically only connecting dots will be very difficult. But again, if you are a well experienced person, you have worked on other cloud services, and you have background about everything, you are able to easily understand the cloud practitioner level. Then it is, you can skip the cloud practitioner level and directly go for the associate level. I did go to the associate level directly. I did not take the cloud practitioner, though I had no experience on AWS, because I had other background about overall enterprise architecture. I was aware, so I was able to go to the associate level. I took the architecture associate, not the developer associate. But these there will be differences in the associate level itself. If you are going to take developer level, then the questions will be targeted on how a developer will be asked. If you are taking architecture level, you will be asked how an architect will think. So it all depends on what is your current role and where you want to go. And professional is kind of, that's very very hard. Passing associate, if it needs 1 to 2 years of experience, professional level will need at least 3 to 5 years of experience to pass. Such will, even if it is 3 to 5 years of experience, just doing the normal basic AWS services will not be enough. You have to have worked on various services, on the data processing side, on the security side, on the user management side, on the organizations, multiple accounts and things like that. Then professional will be the one to go. And For professional, there's a prerequisite that you should have an associate level cleared first. But for associate level, you don't have a prerequisite like that. You can directly go for associate. But I would suggest to go for a practitioner if you are starting new, and if you don't have enough development need or development exposure in AWS in your current work, because it's all going to be theoretical. Just even though there will be hands-on, you have to try the hands-on to understand it better. So it will be better to go for a practitioner first, and when you get a chance, you can explore everything at your leisure. Get yourself equipped with all these things, have your do some project personally to experiment all these services, build your own applications using the services. You can all do that without even spending any money, with the concept that you're learning here. So then you will be equipped well to go for the developer level, or the associate level. So that is my opinion. uh, any questions here? Anybody? I mean, if anybody have, uh, probably somebody would have thought, okay, I'll go for a professional level, but there are things that you should do before that. I just wanted to make it clear. Ask any questions if you have on this. Okay. Okay, the next thing is, are you committed to take this 25 plus sessions? It'll be more than that, and every week we will have to spend a good amount of time, both in this session, outside the session, to keep you on track, to make sure you are not losing the track. Because I know last time when we did this, many people have taken the course. Even people have taken the entire course, but have not applied for any certifications. One, very few people did, and maybe they did not have the confidence for taking that, or did not have the time to do it fully. Okay. Whoever is going to commit here, I think, I want to give you my word that I'll be there to support you, to ensure if you are willing to spend time, I'm ready to spend time as well with you, to make you, to clear the certification. So feel free to reach out to me for anything, and do not think, okay, after 10 sessions this is overwhelming, I don't think I can do it. Nothing like that. Okay, so go for a cloud practitioner level first. If you are feeling like that, you should be able to do it or clear it easily, and that will give you confidence to take the next one. And when you are clearing one certification, they give you 50% off on the next one, if you're taking in the next 1 or 2 years or so, I believe. So there are things like that. Okay, so any questions again? So who are all willing to commit to say that, okay, I'm planning to take this time, let's do it. You can switch on your video and tell,
Yes, Prem. So we'll take that certification course. First, we'll go with the cloud practitioner only. So let's plan for that.
okay.
And Prem, I was planning for a developer associate, Prem. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other things?
Uh, Prem, I'm planning to take in a cloud participant, but I just wanted to ask you one question. See, from test engineer perspective, we can go with a DevOps, right? So, we need a knowledge on developer side for that?
Sorry, come again.
See,
From testing standpoint, you are asking what
standpoint.
is the path?
Yeah,
Okay.
so cloud participant is a common, as you said, we don't want any development knowledge. But the only thing in AWS course is DevOps, we can go with it, right? DevOps category. I can see there is a test engineer, cloud develop,
Actually,
DevOps.
the cloud practitioner is the only one. I mean,
Mhm.
it is only a track. Okay, if you are going in a DevOps track, then for everything you see cloud practitioner as the first one. Okay.
Okay.
So this cloud practitioner is not specific to any stream. It is the basic level. Okay.
Okay.
So even for you being a test engineer, that is the best thing to go. Okay. So if because you will know about everything, all the services and how they are useful. Okay. If you are not going to be a developer or a architect, I don't think anything else is needed, but you can still go for other things. Okay, depending on, say, there are architecture level is something that will not need you to know anything from the coding level. Okay, you can, it's all connecting the dots and architecting something solution, right? Designing.
Okay.
So that way, that will be the next thing for you after cloud practitioner.
Okay.
Yeah. And DevOps or developer. So developer, if you see, that will be mostly targeted on how you are going to use the services for development, for development, right? So DevOps, there are services specific to DevOps. So that will be concentrating, the services will be more concentrated on the DevOps related services, how you are going to do that. So since there are many multiple services available, different categories of services available, where are you going to concentrate? What is your specialty? That is why we have this. For machine learning, you have a different certification. For data science, you have a different certification. So all these things are like, they will concentrate more towards the specific services rather than doing everything, right? Yeah. So who are all willing to commit to say that, okay, I'm planning to take this time, let's do it. You can switch on your video and tell, here.
Yes, Prem. So we'll take that certification course. First, we'll go with the cloud partitioner only. So let's plan for that.
Okay.
And Prem, I was planning for a developer associate, Prem. So yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other things?
Prem, I'm planning to take in a cloud participant, but I just wanted to ask you one question. See, from test engineer perspective, we can go with a DevOps, right? So, are we needing a knowledge on developer side for that?
Sorry, come again.
See,
From testing standpoint, you are
yeah,
asking
standpoint.
this path.
Yeah,
Okay.
so cloud participant is a common, as you said, we don't want any development knowledge. But the only thing in AWS course is DevOps, we can go with it, right? DevOps category. I can see there is a test engineer, cloud developer,
Actually,
DevOps.
the cloud practitioner is the only one. I mean,
Mhm.
it is only a track. Okay, if you are going in a DevOps track, then for everything you see cloud practitioner as the first one. Okay,
Okay.
so this cloud practitioner is not specific to any stream. It is the basic level. Okay,
Okay.
so even for you being a test engineer, that is the best thing to go. Okay.
Mm.
So if because you will know about everything, all the services and how they are useful. Okay. Um, if you are not going to be a developer or a architect, I don't think anything else is needed, but you can still go for other things. Okay, depending on, say, there are architecture level is something that will not need you to know anything from the coding level. Okay, you can, it's all connecting the dots and architecting something solution, right?
Okay.
Designing. So that way, that will be the next thing for you after cloud practitioner.
Okay.
Yeah. And DevOps or developer. So developer, if you see, that will be mostly targeted on how you are going to use the services for development, for development, right? So DevOps, there are services specific to DevOps. So that will be concentrating, the services will be more concentrated on the DevOps related services, how you are going to do that. So since there are many multiple services available, different categories of services available, where are you going to concentrate? What is your specialty? That is why we have this. For machine learning, you have a different certification. For data science, you have a different certification. So all these things are like they will concentrate more towards the specific services rather than doing everything, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's. When said that we will start our first session, I wanted to start with what is cloud computing. Um, we'll go there. Hope you're able to see my screen.
No problem.
Not
Screen
at
is
present.
not at.
Oh, you're not seeing. Okay.
Yeah, now
We
you.
will quickly talk about cloud computing. Then we will go into AWS because AWS is part of cloud computing, right? So we will start with that. So what is a cloud computing? It's all about delivery of computing services. All services that we currently use, that is, can be servers, it can be storage, it can be database, it can be networking, or even softwares, analytic tools, and business intelligence tools. Everything, all these things are offered in the cloud, is what is cloud computing. So regular normal having servers and server rooms in your office, it's all in the past. Now everybody has been migrating or already migrated to cloud based solutions, at least partially, if not completely. Many enterprise organizations who are who have a lot of things already running in their servers, they may not be, they may still be in the old server methods. But for anything that is coming new and any services that they are building or any new application that they are building, I believe everybody is now always going to cloud services only because of the advantages you have in that. Okay. So that is cloud computing. So there are different service models available. So these cloud providers provide you, n number of services, right? So you can categorize that into three parts. One is infrastructure as a service. What is infrastructure as a service? You get all the hardware, whatever is needed. You get the servers, you get the networking, you get everything with respect to the infrastructure, and you build the application on top of it, which is the cloud provider is going to provide you the hardware. You are going to build your software on that. So that is infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service is hardware plus software put together. So they provide you the hardware also, they provide you the software also, or the software to build your own software. For example, you are using Python, or you are using .NET, or you are using Salesforce applications to build your own applications, or you are using iOS to build your Apple apps. So they provide you this underlying infrastructure and the underlying software. On top of it, you can build your applications through your code. And software as a service is completely, they provide you the software itself. For example, um, you just subscribe to that software and use it, right? You are not going to develop or build anything. You will just have an interface where you can customize those things. At the background, everything is going to, all the infrastructure, all the software, and anything else will be handled by them itself. You just subscribe to the product and use it. So this is what is software as a service. And you don't need to buy anything. except for the subscription that you are going to enroll. Okay. And there are three types of, you can also categorize based on the deployment models. What it is public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So what is a public cloud? So once you are actually deciding to go to cloud, so you can decide how you are going to you know uh, have your infrastructure acts provision, have your software provision and all. Public cloud is something like, AWS is a public cloud. Inside that, it can provide you some some separation from others. Or there are situations where it is all in public. Everything is managed by them, so it is in the public cloud, and there is nothing private. Private cloud is you within the service provider, they provide you a specific entity where you will have everything. Whatever you are going to have there is not going to be shared with anybody else. So that is private cloud. Nobody else will have access to your infrastructure. Nobody will have access to your data and things like that. And hybrid cloud is both. Some of the things will be public, some of the things will be private. So you have it as a combination of both, because so in some cases you may need that aspect. So these are the three types of deployment models we have in cloud. We'll see them in detail when we go into the individual sections. So the most, the three top advantages, if you want to see what is in cloud computing, is scalability. So your resources can be scaled up or down based on your demand. This is the first advantage, I would say, because if I want to start a company, if I want to have one application built, right, that may need, let's say, to just deploy one website, right, where I want to capture some information about my customers. Or I want to sell some products in my website, right? What are the things I will need? I will need a server up and running 24/7. I will need the networking capabilities that can make sure traffic is controlled to my website. I will need a database where I will have to store this information, and user can access that. I will need certificates, security certificates for transfer of data and things like that. All these things will be needed, right? So if I have to buy all these things and set up a server on my own, I definitely will have to spend a lot, and I will not go live at least for 6 months. I will take time to set up all these things itself for 6 months. Um, so here I can go, if I go and purchase all these things from a cloud provider, I can start with the small. Okay, I just want one server. Give me one server, which is and that is also going to be on demand basis. Or they are not going to you are not going to pay upfront. You are going to pay based on the usage or how much you need per month. I will start with a small server. Let's say that comes with $20 per month, right? And I'll go with a small database that comes with the $10 per month. So effectively put together, I may be spending only $20 to $25, or maximum $50 if I want. I can go with the zero also. I'll come to that. But in case if I want to have a specific server up and running for me all the time, then that's what I'm saying. So I can scale as I grow. Today, I'm starting with one small server. When traffic is increasing, I might have to go from a small server to a bigger server, right? So in that case, if I am doing in-house, then I'll have to throw this server out, buy a new big server, install it, and make the changes. In cloud, it is going to be in a minute. You can say, okay, I'm going from the small server to this big server, just make the migration for me. It's going to do that, take a couple of minutes, and you will be in a bigger server by that time. So that is called scalability, and you can increase the number of servers as well. I want to go with one server today. After 2 months, traffic is more. I want to expand to 4 servers. Can still do that. I want to deploy my server and start with India first. Then I want to do a replica of that in Europe or in US. I can do that in a minute. So this is called scalability. Cost effectiveness, as I said, you are not going to give any upfront cost. It's all going to be incremental or operational expenses. You can start small. You are going to pay for what you are using. So let's say if you are going for some service that says for 1,000 API calls, you will be charged $1. So if you are not going to use 1,000, if you are just going to use 10 API calls, then you are going to pay only for 10 API calls. If you are going to use for 10,000, then you are going to pay proportionally. So that is the cost effectiveness. When you are starting small, you will not have to worry about spending too much, investing too much on your experiments, on your building your apps and all, and you can start small and build. And that's the cost effectiveness. And accessibility, so you can access this from anywhere, right? So you don't have to worry about, okay, for this to access this application I need to be in India. I need to have my server set up in India. You can set up your server with the cloud, which means that it can be deployed anywhere, and you are you don't have any boundary there. It's your choice. At any point of time you can deploy that anywhere. So those are the three main advantages of cloud computing. And security and compliance. So all these cloud providers, they are very much aware of all the security needs, and they are building all security firewalls that are the basic needs from the basic needs to the maximum needed security features. They all provide you all the features that you can enable on your applications or on your services, so that your application is completely secure. If you are building on your own, if you are building your server, then you have to provision all of that. Here in cloud, you don't have to worry about it. They take care of everything, and there are compliance standards in different countries and different things. So they take care of that as well. There are different standards, and they will if they provide you option to comply to those policies and specify what policy you want to comply, and they can enable that for you. So this is one of the main thing where you don't have to spend your time and energy setting up all these things. You just say this is what I want, and they're going to give you, and you spend your time building your active application, which is going to pay you back. And cloud storage. So since it is offering, it's all in cloud, you don't have to worry about how much you are going to provision for storage and all. Everything can be stored in the cloud itself, and you can have redundancy. You can back up. You can do anything that you want. It's all you guys know all these things. By this time, I believe. And virtualization, so nothing is actually there in front of you, right? It's all virtual. You create everything somewhere in the cloud, and it is provisioned for you, and it's all the networking, everything, though everything is actually hardware that is sitting somewhere. For us, it is all virtual, right? And it's available for everybody at any point of time. And that is that is how the resources are utilized very effectively and efficiently, and we are getting the benefit out of it as well. And disaster recovery and backup, this is one another main thing. So let's say we have a server running in our in-house server room, and there is a power outage in this city, right? So then what happens? So your application is not going to be live for others. At that time, you cannot do anything. You cannot, take your server, go to another city and set it up, right? So if the same situation happens with the cloud providers, right? Let's say they will have data centers in many cities. Let's say your server is running from New York, and there's a power outage in New York. Immediately, you can, there is an option to switch to another city from where you can go up and running. So all these things, the disaster recovery and the backup, these things are, within minutes you can recover from any disaster. That is how it is, provisioned, and your business will not be impacted. So this is one of the main thing that all the enterprise, not only enterprise applications, anybody, right, who is dependent on their application, day-to-day business is dependent on that, then this is a very important thing. And this is, you don't have to worry about that. You just have to provision how you want to have your disaster recovery done, and then they will take care of that when that happens. And cloud native technologies. So since we are in cloud, it gives option to build even more technologies that are native to the cloud. For example, you can build serverless applications. Serverless application means everything, without worrying about anything, you can build your applications. So that is what is serverless applications. You can build declarative APIs, containers, microservices. All these things are, have evolved and are in use now because of the flexibility that cloud provides us. Okay, and in future, like, artificial intelligence and edge computing. Edge computing is nothing but you do the computing on your device, not, traditionally, even in in cloud-based applications, all the computing is happening at the server side, right? So only the front end will be there. If you have a mobile app, all your processing is going to happen on the server. You will be sending data, receiving data. Edge computing is nothing but your mobile itself will serve as a server for you. All the operations will happen here itself and will sync to your server in the background. And AI, we are all in the age of AI now. So all these things are evolving. You can build these, future trends easily. You can advance very easily with using cloud services rather than, using your own in-house mechanisms. Okay, so this is the just a small background about cloud. Any questions? We will see some myths and reality about cloud computing, right? So one of the myth is cloud computing is less secure than on-premise solutions. So many people believe that storing data, running applications in the cloud is inherently less secure because we say it is public. We say, because we don't manage our servers, somebody else is managing. They can, our data can be exposed to others. But actual reality is cloud providers invest heavily in security measures, compliance certifications, data protection protocols, often surpassing the capabilities of on-premise solutions. They have, they spend so much every day to, expand the security features, provide you more and more secure environment in all aspects. So we just have to make use of that and make our, applications more secure. Next one is, cloud computing always reduces IT costs. So when we say, okay, go to cloud, your cost is reduced, that is, that is also a myth. It's commonly assumed that moving to cloud will always lead to cost saving, but though it reduces the cost for, the hardware and maintenance, it may not be cheaper when considering data transfer fees, scaling resources, and services used. So we have to manage it effectively, right? I will give you an example. Recently, I was reading a article where Disney plus Hotstar, they were in the cloud. They were actually using serverless things, And moving from serverless to server, they save 90% of the cost. So we think, going serverless, it's going to be, cost reduction. But from or moving from moving from serverless to servers, they reduced 90% of the cost. When we start, it will be cheaper, because we know that we are just going to pay for what we are using, right? So 10 API calls per day, I pay only for 10 API calls per day. 50 GB of storage only is needed, I pay only for 50 GB of storage. But over a period of time, if you look at the as you expand, as you build, you grow more and more, your utilization of resources will be expanding, right? So in place of one resource, one server, you will be having 10 servers. In place of one database, you will be having multiple replicas of the databases and so on. So definitely your cost will go high. You should be able to effectively manage that with good architecture. That is where the architecture solutioning comes into play. You should decide what you need and how you can reduce, how you can shift from one to the other to reduce your cost and still manage your application running smoothly. So that is something we should be aware of. And migrating to cloud means losing control over IT resources. So it's another myth. So if it is cloud, I don't have any control over the hardware. No. So actually, cloud services offer detailed control over the resources and extensive configuration options. So even though the server is managed by them or the server is sitting at their end, you can control how it has to be configured, how you want to where you want to keep it, what security measures you want to give, configurations you have to give, and all these things. For example, there will be compliance application restrictions that your data should not be in the hardware that is shared by somebody else. Okay, that may be the compliance. So banking applications, if you take their data, even though it is in the even though it is a private cloud, even though it is all security measures are done, there will be a specific compliance saying the hardware where your data is going to be sitting, that should not be shared with others. Usually cloud platform means the hardware, you don't know which hardware it is going to go, your server is going to go, where they are going to provision. It there will be two or three servers in the same server unit, all connected to one cable, right? So this is usually happens. But you can have a control over it, saying, see, in this server box, I don't want anybody else's server sitting there or data cables connecting to that particular box, right? You can have that kind of minute level of control. You're just going to pay for the additional things that are involved in it, but that security is possible, that kind of segregation is possible. And next myth is cloud computing is only for large enterprises. Absolutely no. Even you are a small startup or a single person starting up something to try out, cloud is for you. You can start from the cloud without investing a penny, and you can build from there. That is the power of cloud. And next one is, one cloud provider is sufficient for all needs. So there are many cloud providers we know. So there is a myth that it is, if you go for one provider, it is enough. But actually, if you see enterprise applications, they will have multiple cloud providers, set up for different applications or different jobs. Maybe their data processing will be happening in Azure. Their data storage maybe will be in AWS. All their business intelligence processor reports and these things will be done by Google Cloud. So they will have or the same processing will be happening in multiple different providers. It can be the same process running. Probably you need 50 servers to run to do this. 20 servers will be running in AWS, 20 servers will be running in Azure, another 10 will be running in Google Cloud. So they want to make sure to diversify these things to ensure that always they have it up and running, right? If AWS goes down it is possible, right? You can see that between 2 to 4 p.m. AWS was down and a lot of business impact was there. So in these cases, people will spread their presence or cloud presence to different multiple providers so that they can always be up and running. And cloud services are always environment friendly. No, it is a myth. It is again a myth. So it is, while they operate effectively or and efficiently using renewable resources, it all depends on various factors like where are they located, how are they getting their energy sources, what are their efficiency measures. It all depends on different cloud providers, how they manage. Just because we are in the cloud doesn't mean that we are environment friendly. And all cloud providers provide the same level of performance, and that is also not true. It will be different. It depends on how they have again architectured, what technology they are using, where they are located, how their infrastructure is built. All these things determine the performance. So if you are in India and connecting to a server in the US, there may be latency. If you are connecting to Singapore, the latency may be small. So it all depends on different factors. And data stored in the cloud is publicly accessible. Again, that's a misconception. It is not. So you have control over that. It is you will have it. You can control which can be public, which should not be public, and so on. And cloud migration is quick and simple. I think that's the biggest myth, misconception. This is, there's an oversimplification of complexity involved in migrating to the cloud, but in reality, it is a very complex process. Building new in cloud is easy than migrating to cloud because there are so many things that we need to take care to migrate, and the migration time. During the migration time itself, you have to handle both. You have to, have your in-house solution running and your cloud solution running, and you have to migrate part by part, and you have to ensure both are in sync and both are configured to deliver your customers appropriately. And that is the most I would say that is the most difficult thing to do. Migrating to cloud itself is a big project for many enterprises for multiple years. There will be I have worked on a project where migrating to cloud completely was for 7 years, uh, for one big organization. Okay. And the last one, cloud computing eliminates IT jobs. It definitely is not. It actually increases the job opportunities because with cloud, many people can build many things, very easily. So that brings an opportunity for us to, do more work there. So if we are skilled in cloud technologies, definitely we are going to be the people who will be picked up for that. Any questions on these things?
Prem, I have one question. Point.
Yeah.
So you said that on one point in that slide, so I was ready. You were saying that if sometime that cloud, 1 second, I don't know. If sometime the cloud got stopped, the cloud services due to some problem, it got stopped. You said that it will expose to other cloud as well, maybe other cloud providers as well. You said. So in that case, our application will be running on both the things or what? So
Yes.
how come? Oh, okay.
It has to be like that. So there are different situations. Okay, there are it is how you want to have it. Okay, so if you are deploying your application, that is where the containerization and all these things comes into play. So you have an application, you containerize that and deploy that. That can be run anywhere. So you run that from AWS, you run that from Azure, you run that from Google Cloud. Okay, you can have a separation. Okay, all US customers will be handled by my AWS. All UK customers will be handled by my Azure. All Asia Pacific will be handled by my Google Cloud, right? And if when some disaster happens, right, I can route, let's say US is down, I can route everything to Europe servers, right? So that way you are managing, you are mitigating your risk of some locations going down. So that is why you will have to have multiple, uh, based on the business criticality, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
you will have to plan that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So,
Any other
please,
questions?
yeah, I have a couple of questions. One is, so might be it's a simple question. Cloud, we are saying, right? But physically, some server will they have it, right? AWS.
Correct. What is cloud? There is no
They have
cloud.
it. Yeah,
Right?
obviously they have in a
It
physical.
is internet. You are
Yeah,
connected through the internet. That is what is cloud.
yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
if
Somebody, yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
so physical services sometime it will be having problems. So you said automatically it will be converted to some other server, right? So say I'm in India, I'm having a server I needed a server from this location. I specifically asked for, and then the server is located there. In that location, some issues. So how come my data will be uh, converted to some other server, or are they having a backup somewhere my data? Is that we will permit, or else it's a default they have did that? Because
Okay.
I have not asked them to specifically given a backup to some other location. So in that case, how it will be?
Exact. Very good question. Okay. So that is, you yourself told that answer. Either you are going to say that I want to have a backup. Okay. If it depends on the service, right? So if that service is managed by them and they claim that we have provisioned our service that it will be always up and running even there is a disaster, so they already manage that. They will have a replica of your data in multiple other regions. They will immediately replicate that. Okay, it's going to happen in the background, you won't know, because you are not provisioning that, they are managing that. So if you are provisioning a server in India, right? So you are buying a server saying that it will be in Mumbai. In Mumbai, AWS has a data center. You're saying that I want to, provision a server and I want that to be in Mumbai. In this case, there is no disaster recovery for you. You have to specify, I want to set up disaster recovery and I want to set up my secondary server in this location. Okay, so you will be managing that. You will have to manage, you will have to deploy your code to the Mumbai server, you'll have to deploy your code to the Europe server as well. Okay, when you are doing. So you should manage that when you are managing your servers for application or services that completely managed by AWS, they manage that.
Okay. And a second question is, see, is that bank maintaining the cloud server or having in a physical service? Because it's curious for me, because each and every net banking is so secured, and then they are really come up with a lot of testing, and then it came to the end user. So is that they are going with the cloud private cloud service, or else they are using a physical service for their own banks?
Again, it depends on the bank, Ravi. So
Oh,
many banks, they have started with their own in-house stuff, right? uh, but they see, when we talk about these things in the future, you will see that even though it is cloud provider, they can provision a data center for you in your city. Okay, so you are just going to pay for that. You are not going to set up. They will set up a data center exclusively for you. You can have a wired channel from your office to that. This is available in US. Okay, not available in India and all,
mhm.
but in US many places it is available. So from your office, you don't want to connect to the cloud providers usual data center. You want to have a specific data center, and you are going to pay for that. They can do that for you.
Okay.
Okay, so it all depends on the security that you want to give, and what you are ready to pay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So you get the advantage of using it as a, as your own in
So,
on-premise server, but with the but using the services that AWS provides you as a cloud partner.
okay. And one more question. So, see, you said Hotstar is moved to serverless to server. They are benefiting almost 90% is revenue as well. See, but how come it's possible? Because serverless is the best way to, uh, what to say, cost cutting or like that, what you said, right?
Correct.
But that much big organization, if they are going to do on a server, they have to invest a lot for the initially they build up something. So that it could be an how come
So
it's
very, 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 very classic, example of that. Um, if let's say, let's take it like this. Okay, you are buying a product. Okay,
mm,
so if you are actually, let's say, um, you can buy in wholesale, or you can buy, individually. So
mm,
when you are buying a wholesale one, you get a lot of discount, right?
yeah,
So let's say, you purchase it for 100 rupees, it has 100 pieces in it. Okay, 100 units, 100 rupees.
mm,
But if you are buying it individually, you pay 5 rupees per unit.
yeah,
Okay, so what is the difference here? Here itself, if you really need 100 units of that, you buy 100 you pay 100 rupees and buy it,
mm,
instead of buying individually with 500 rupees. So you are losing 400 rupees there.
yes,
So here itself you see that it is 20% cost if you actually need this 100.
yes,
Okay,
got it.
20% of the actual, the individual cost, if
Mm,
you want to buy it as a, that is the advantage. See, but when you need only 2 units, you don't need to buy 100. You don't need to pay 100 rupees and buy 2 units, right? So
yes,
when you need 2 units, you just pay 10 rupees and buy it. When you need 100 or 1,000, you go for wholesale purchases. That is the cost difference. Okay,
okay,
always see, for with Hotstar it is like they know always the bandwidth is like this. They have to keep on streaming, they have to, so many people are always connected, at a minimum so many people are always connected. Okay,
yes,
so they have been using Lambda services and other things serverless to, provide, because it is serverless, it is quick, scale, effectively, no problem. But everything, as a single piece put together, they have a, if you see the cost, it tells you that, okay, for this cost I can create a server which can handle 100 requests at a time, instead of having 100 different lambda functions. One server, okay, that cost, because I always need this server, always there is going to be 100 requests in this server. So instead of paying for 100 lambda functions, which is 500 rupees, I'll pay for one server, which is 100 rupees.
yes,
Okay, that's the difference. So
okay.
when you know my need is constant, and I minimum, at a minimum I need this, going for server is better than serverless.
So and if the application bandwidth increased and then the application bandwidth, for example, 100 users we have gotten a service from the Amazon, but we just increased it. How the users know about that? The Amazon will be triggered to us saying that your application bandwidth getting increased day by day. You have to increase it. Like that, we have intimated them, or else how come we know that?
A very good question again. Yes, there are alarms and other things that you can set. So basically, first you can provision that I don't want to go beyond this. Okay, don't expand beyond this, because there can be malicious attacks coming.
Okay.
Okay, which you don't anticipate so much, but it is coming. So
Hmm.
you can put a limit. I don't want to grow beyond this. Okay, or you can provision like I want to get regular updates, or I see AWS, they provide services that will help you identify where you can save your cost, where you can expand all these things. So you can, if you set up that, it will keep monitoring your traffic, and say, hey, instead of having 2 servers, go for 4 servers, because always we are auto scaling to 4. Okay, so you can better provision 4 servers, pay less than auto scaling on demand. So all these things are available. Not only AWS, many all other providers also do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can see your cost on a daily basis. So that is also cost and usage and everything. You can track it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Any
Changing,
other questions?
changing the location for server is configurable, or it's very easy, or very complex
It
process.
is very easy to configure. So you don't need to know anything. You just have to specify. See, it's all about buying a product from your shopping cart. That's all, every single product. But how to use that, that is something that you need to be aware. It is like, you don't need to know anything to buy a server, but you need to know something to run your application on the server. That is common for whether you are going to run that in the cloud or in house, right? So it is all about purchasing the cloud. If you have to purchase a hardware from a store, it's going to take at least a day. I mean, you have to go there, buy it, come provision it, connect it to the network and all. If it is in cloud, in 1 minute you can say that I want a server. It will be available for you. Just go into that, install your software, up and running, you are live.
No, no, Prem. I already have a server in some location,
Uh-huh.
AWS. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. So maybe after some years, I want to change the location. Is it possible? I'm asking. Is that
it is
very
possible.
easy, or very
It's
simple
easy.
configuration?
It's
Easy.
easy. It is like, changing location is just like taking a copy and copying it to that location, and
Okay.
uh, making it up and running.
So cost varies, right?
Cost is nothing. It's like, you are going to create your server on another location using your current server. Cost wise, it is nothing extra than copy, taking a copy of the server. So you are going to store that in a service. So you're going to pay for how much GB that it's going to be, and whatever server that you are running. So it will be very, very minimal additional cost, if you ask me. Okay. Thanks, Paula. Any questions? Any other questions? Okay. So we will quickly cover some of the cloud providers. AWS is one of the cloud providers, and the most, the largest network they have, providing extensive global coverage, ensuring high availability and low latency. This is the, AWS is kind of, more than 60% of the cloud spectrum. If you see, AWS is what is owning. And comprehensive service offering. So they have, service for anything and everything, you name it. Every day they, introduce some new service or expand their services. And market leadership. So they are the market leaders, as most more than 60% of the footprint they have, and that is what we will be seeing. Other than AWS, we have Microsoft Azure. So they have their own, strengths. So the hybrid capabilities is something that Azure excels. Providing hybrid cloud environments, often seamless blend of on-premise and public cloud, and integration with Microsoft products. So since it is a Microsoft product, uh, many organizations are using Microsoft products only, like Excel sheets and Office 365 and other things, Active Directory and all. So integrating that with Microsoft Azure, that is easier than going to AWS and integrating your everything that is in Microsoft space. So for example, if I'm using Microsoft products, all my data is going to be in my Microsoft SharePoint, right? If I want to start using AWS, then I have to connect these two things, and that's going to be difficult. But if I go for Azure, it will be they already have the provision to connect easily within the same account. So that is that they have that advantage. Many enterprise applications, even though they can go to AWS for a cheaper cost, they will be um, choosing Azure for this reason, because they are already using Microsoft products. And AI and machine learning, again, they have a strong presence there, strong applications that can help AI driven applications. And then we have GCP, Google Cloud. For data and analytics, GCP is a better one. So the big data services and data flow, and also machine learning, Google Cloud is a better choice. Kubernetes, which is a container services, that is actually developed originally in Google, and that is extensively used in that. So if you are using Kubernetes, then Google Cloud is the right choice to go. Network infrastructure, Google's private global fiber network offers significant advantages. So when it comes to networking and speed, I think Google Cloud is better than others. And Alibaba Cloud, that is in Asia specific, they are the leaders. Leading cloud provider in Asia, offering strong local expertise, infrastructure, and network performance. So e-commerce and retail solutions. In addition to their cloud, they provide the e-commerce solutions as well, I think. And global expansion, they are expanding to other continents as well. And also we have IBM Cloud. So again, though not at the AWS level, they are also having their own presence, because many IBM is more towards, uh, uh, if you are a very old application, right? Mostly you will be using IBM, especially mainframe oriented applications. They will be using IBM mainframes. So moving from that to IBM Cloud, they provide better capabilities. And when you want to go for a hybrid solution, IBM is another choice. And they have their own AI solution, which is called Watson AI. So that's all I wanted to cover today. Any questions on this? I think it's all okay. So
Prem, one
hmm,
question, Prem. So
yeah,
you said a lot of advantages for the AWS cloud services. So what could be the disadvantage on?
disadvantage, if you ask me, uh, they have mitigated all the disadvantages through some means. Okay, so I wouldn't say there may be disadvantages, like if the security, right? Again, so I want to have it on running on my servers locally, but those things are mitigated by them by provisioning your own in-house servers near to your location and all. So those are something. So if I'm in India and I want to have that kind of facility, I will not have that. So I will still go for this thing. Okay. And one of the main thing is, if your application and your systems are highly interconnected and it is not a public one, right? Stock market, let's take stock market, right? So you need responses immediately within seconds to of the data and all, when you are working on such a huge data that is coming in. So only when if it is in cloud, then there definitely a latency, right? So if you have this data, everything set up in your on premise, then that is better, right? So those are some of the disadvantages you will see. Again, everything has to be connected through the internet. That is another disadvantage. Without internet, your application is not going to work, because you have to connect to the cloud to do that. Without internet, that's not going to happen, right? So these are some of the disadvantages. uh, Many companies have not yet migrated to cloud, even though it is widespread. They are not able to migrate because such is the data, such is the processing mainframes, right? Processing in mainframe, all those files and other things, huge terabytes of data. If you want to handle these data through cloud, then that's going to be very difficult, right? So they are still using in their in-house or on-premise things only. But cloud providers are giving solutions for that as well. They are coming up with the different mechanisms to make it faster, to migrate the data from here to there, different types of databases, right? To manage your queries faster. Many things are coming up.
Okay.
Cool. Let's check our understanding. So here is a question: which cloud service model offers hardware and software tools over the internet, typically for application development? So out of these three, which one is the right one that provides hardware and software? Infrastructure as a service, or platform as a service, or software as a service? Anybody?
Pass. B.
So who
Ganesh.
said B?
Platform as a service.
Platform
Ganesh.
as a service. Okay,
Ganesh.
that's the right one, Ganesh. And yeah, good. So infrastructure only provides hardware. Platform provides both. Software is typically the application itself built there. You are not going to build the application. Let's see the next one. Which cloud deployment model combines public and private clouds, allowing data and applications to be shared between them?
Hybrid
See,
cloud.
Hybrid.
Hybrid.
Hybrid. Very good. Good job. Which of the following is a misconception about cloud computing? Cloud computing is inherently less secure than on premise. Cloud providers invest heavily in security measures. Data in the cloud is encrypted to protect against unauthorized access.
see,
A.
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 Option A.
Good. That's the right one. A is the right one. Which cloud provider is known for its extensive global reach and comprehensive service offering? Out of these three,
AWS.
A.
AWS.
AWS. A.
AWS. Good. What unique features does Microsoft Azure offer that is particularly beneficial for organizations using Microsoft software and services? So, what of these three? What is the thing that makes Azure a choice for Microsoft products? Tight integration with Microsoft products like Windows Server and Office 365. A private global fiber network. Specialization in e-commerce and retail solutions.
A.
A
A.
option.
A.
Yeah. Good. So that's all I have. Good. I think everybody has listened to that, and good. So we will have like this every session. After that, session, we will have a small 5 to 10 questions that will test your understanding. That way, you will get a feel of how your exam is going to be. We will try to make those questions similar to how it will be asked in the exams. Um, we will start with the cloud practitioner level, but anybody is taking the next level, I can help you take come up with those questions as well. uh, Chat GPT is another place where you can effectively prepare. Okay, so if you are let's say tomorrow we are going to learn about security, go ahead and ask ChatGPT to ask you to test your understanding. It's going to ask you questions, and you can see all these questions I took from there only. Okay, so you don't have to actually read a book to get this. I mean, if you just have some time, you can do that. And when preparing for the exam, I think there are Udemy courses available exclusively to give you practice tests with full practice tests, 5 6 tests together. That will be very helpful. I took one of that for my examinations. Okay, having said that, I will conclude here. I'll not take much time. Thanks for joining. So whoever's registered, I think you will get the invites, and we will continue from the next session.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.